How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be going over my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC 295, Prochazka vs. Perea on November 11th, 2023. Let's get right into it with the first fight of 13. We start in the featherweight division with Denis Biza versus Jamal Emers. Let's start with Denis. Last fight was a loss against Sean Woodson in August of 2023 when he took it on short notice. Denis throws wild overhand rights. He charges in for his attacks. He'll rush in a lot. Decent work along the fence with his clinch. We saw this in the Sean Woodson fight. He did land some good shots. He uses his jabs and straights as a sort of smoke screen for bigger shots. Whenever Denis throws his jabs, it's mostly trying to set up that big-ass right hand. He's got a hell of a chin, but his gas tank is a little shaky, not gonna lie. Let's go to Jamal. His last fight was a loss against Jack Jenkins in June of 2023. He arguably won. Likes to use push kicks and jabs to match his length. Jamal is a lengthy-ass featherweight. Good tie knees in the clinch. He's very fast. He loves to attack the body. You'll see this a lot from Jamal. He'll like to just throw the push kick to the body, throw a right cross to the body. He loves attacking the body. Good cardio. Combos get better as the fight goes on. We saw this especially in the Jack Jenkins fight. He started off a little cold, but as the fight went on, he started landing like 5-punch combinations. It was wild. His takedown entries are meh, but his control is insane. Whenever he gets you on the ground, it's going to be a rough time. My big thing with Jamal is that he's susceptible to leg kicks because he doesn't really like to check them because he's kind of in a karate stance. I'm going to go with Jamal Emers by unanimous decision, 30-27. I feel like Jamal is just a little bit better than Denis everywhere. And I think he'll just pick him apart on the feet. When Denis will try to get it to the ground, Jamal will just defend the takedowns and then pick him apart again. We move to Joshua Van versus Kevin Boros in the flyweight division. Let's start with Joshua Van. His last fight was a win against Zhalgas Zhumagulov in June of 2023. Solid Muay Thai from Joshua Van. He likes his jab. That's his main weapon. His main weapon is his jab. Great defense. He's very patient, which allows his defense to be even better. Good takedown defense, accurate with his ones and twos. He likes the front kick to the body, mostly from his right leg. Watch the head kicks. He dropped Zhalgas in their fight with a head kick. It was fucking brutal, not gonna lie. He has the ability to throw 15-punch combinations. He has a good gas tank. Let's go to Kevin. His last fight was a win against Victor Diaz in August of 2023. A very powerful striker. He throws a lot. Good ground and pound. He loves his kicks. He likes to throw a lot of kicks. His chin is a little spotty, though, which makes me want to pick Joshua Van by second round TKO. This one's going to be very quick, I feel. Kevin Boros, I feel, just is a bit, inexperienced compared to Joshua Van, even though he does have more fights and he is older. I just feel that he doesn't have the pedigree that Joshua Van does. We move to John Cassan versus Kyung Ho Kang in a bantamweight clash. Let's start with John. Last fight was a win against Muan Golfarov in June of 2023. John showed good takedown defense. He's pretty slick on the feet. He sets up his kicks with jabs and straights. He has good takedown entries. We saw that a couple times with him just like picking up Muin Golfarov. He gets pressured a little bit, which is my con about John Castaneda. Muin was pushing him almost the entire fight. Let's go to Kang. His last fight was a win against Cristian Quinones in June of 2023. Great submission game. He has good kickboxing with good accuracy, likes the jab a lot. Kwang Ho Kang will throw a counter left hook whenever he's backing up. Very calm in bad situations. Kristen rocked him in their fight, and he was just calmly throwing back. I'm going to pick Kwang Ho Kang by third round submission, preferably rear naked choke. I think it's going to be a dogfight for the first 2 rounds. Maybe John will win both of them. Maybe it'll be 19-19, but I think Kwang Ho Kang is going to pull out a submission in the 3rd round. We move to Jared Gordon versus Marco Madson. Let's start with Jared. His last fight was a no contest against Bobby Green in April of 2023. Jared applies good pressure. His striking is a bit loose with heavy hooks that precedes jabs. We saw that in the Paddy Pimblett fight. Good in the clinch. Again, we saw that in the Paddy fight. His chin is pretty shit, though. We've seen that in basically every loss he's had. Let's go to Mark. His last fight was a loss against Grant Dawson in November of 2023. Olympic-level wrestler, good transitions on the ground. Shit striking. This fight's going to be very boring, and I'm going to pick Marco Madsen by unanimous decision. I'm not looking forward to this fight, to be honest. We move to Nazim Zodikov versus Vyacheslav Borchev. Let's start with Nazim. His last fight was a win against Terrence McKinney in July of 2023. Crazy striking, wild strikes like looping uppercuts and spinning kicks. He likes to throw unorthodox shit, and he applies good pressure while doing it. It's kind of crazy. He goes for the finish all the time. He struggles off his back, though. We saw that in the Terrence McKinney fight. He wasn't on his back, but he struggled in bad positions on the ground. He couldn't get back up. Let's go to Viciouslev. His last fight was a win against Mahashate in May of 2023. Slava claws, baby. Beautiful striking, kicks to the body. He likes the left hook to both the head and the body. He dropped Dakota Bush, I believe, with a left hook to the body. He just loves that left hook. Nice head movement. His jab is really potent. On the break of a clinch, watch the right hand. He landed it, I swear to God, several times in that Mahashate fight. The first knockdown came off of a break right hand. His wrestling is always improving, which, is good. This fight's very hard to pick for, but I'm going to pick Viciouslev Borchev by second round TKO. This fight's going to be a dogfight. Just know that. We move to Mateusz Rombeski versus Roosevelt Roberts. Let's start with Mateusz. His last fight was a win against Aloik Razibov in June of 2023. This guy's a bad man. Very powerful, slick boxing combinations, likes the body and leg kicks. Good head movement, which makes up for his small frame. His left hook is his weapon. That is his main weapon of choice. Good takedown entries and control. Short arms, though. Look at his fucking reach. 66-inch reach at lightweight is terrible. Let's go to Roosevelt. His last fight was a win against Alexandre de Almeida in May of 2023. I'm not counting the Ultimate Fighter shit. Those are exhibition bouts. Likes his straight punches, jabs, and crosses. Uses his length well. Struggles quite a bit on the ground. Very inconsistent is Roosevelt Roberts. I'm going to pick Mateusz Rombeski by first round KO. Roosevelt Roberts' chin is quite suspect, and I feel like Mateusz is just going to crack that bitch. We move to Tabitha Richie versus Lupi Godinez. Let's start with Tabitha Richie. Her last fight was a win against Jillian Roberts in June of 2023. She likes the outside leg kick. She's got good takedown defense and takedown entry. She thrives on the ground, but she does have good straight punches on the feet. Lunging attacks. Her rear uppercut is something that I want to watch out for. She'll throw a one and then bring up the right uppercut, which is, dangerous. She has decent straight punches, as I said. The cardio is a bit of a problem. She does tend to slow down. Let's go to Lupita Godinez. Her last fight was a win against Elise Reed in September of 2023. She's active as hell. Nice boxing. Her ground game is still underrated. She has a fucking feverish ground game. She pushes the pace. She's quick. Hard from hell. I'm picking Lupita Godinez by unanimous decision yet again, 29-28. I think Tabitha Richie might be able to scrape the first round, but after that I think Lupita Godinez is going to win this shit. We move to Steve Ersek versus Alessandra Costa. Let's start with Steve. His last fight was a win against David Dvorak in June of 2023. Steve has slick striking, really good straights. His leg kicks are always open. His right head kick is beautiful. He throws a lot of counters. He likes to throw body shots. Stalking presence sort of reminds me of a Benoit Saint Denis, the way he just stalks his opponents. Good cardio, solid takedown entries as well. He's very well-rounded as Steve Ersek. Let's go to Alessandro. Last fight was a win against Jimmy Flick in June of 2023. Powerful flyweight. He applies pressure early, good leg kicks, decent takedown defense, wings his shots a shit ton. His cardio may be an issue, though. I'm going to pick Steve Ersek by unanimous decision, 29-28. I just feel like Steve Ersek is going to push the pace later on in the fight and be able to keep the pace, and Alessandra Costa won't. We have made it to the start of the main card where Diego Lopez and Pat Sabatini will throw down. Let's start with Diego Lopez. Last fight was a win against Gavin Tucker in August of 2023. Calm and patient on the feet, but throws powerful shots. We saw that he has power against Movsar Evelev. He actually rocked the fuck out of Movsar, and I was like, oh my god, he might actually win. He throws leg kicks as well. He's a BJJ ace, dude. Insane submissions from everywhere. We've seen that he can do knee bars. We've seen that he can do jumping submissions and bullshit like that. He's fucking nuts. He's a huge threat on the ground, able to finish it. Only issue I've seen is maybe his gas tank, but that might be possibly due to him taking the fight on short notice. Let's go to Pat Sabatini. Last fight was a win against Lucas Almeida in June of 2023. He's a BJJ ace as well, likes to get to the back of his opponents, great control. His stand-up is very spotty, though. He got KO'd in the first round by Damon fucking Jackson. I'm going to pick Diego Lopez by first round KO TKO. Diego Lopez will not even need the BJJ in this fight. I feel like he's going to KO Pat Sabatini because that's how bad that guy sucks on the feet. We move to Matt, the Steamroller Fevola versus Benoit Saint Denis. This fight's fucking insane. Let's start with Matt. His last fight was a win against Drew Dober in May of 2023. Matt Fevola is the definition of gritty. Loves to use pressure by being menacing, powerful hands, loves to trap his opponents against the fence, and just fucking wail on him. Matt Fevola's hooks are his primary weapon. We've seen this against Drew Dober, Ottoman Azaitar. He just loves to trap people and beat them the fuck up. Matt Fevola does have a bit of a history of being chinny. We saw that with Terrence McKinney when he got knocked out with a 1-2. Let's go to Benoit. His last fight was a win against Thiago Moises in September of 2023. Dog! All finishes, 9 submissions, great power, crazy on the ground. His one loss was a brutal beatdown against Alessio Zaleski dos Santos, but we've seen that Alessio Zaleski dos Santos just kind of beats people up again. But he can take shots well. Benoit Saint Denis is a human brick wall. This fight is going to be fucking fun, and I'm going to pick Benoit Saint Denis by first round TKO KO. It's not going to last long, but it's going to be fucking fun, I'll tell you that much. We move to Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Durn. Let's start with Jessica Andrade. Last fight was a loss against Tatiana Suarez in August 2023. Huge power in her shots, super strong, loves to use the 1s and 2s, beats on lesser opponents, but she struggles heavily on the ground. Jessica Andrade, you'll see her love to throw hooks as well. Just a very strong lady. Let's go to Mackenzie. Her last fight was a win against Angela Hill in May of 2023. She's a BJJ ace, super slick on the ground, improving stand-up as always, but she has good power as well. We saw that in the Angela Hill fight. Mackenzie Durn actually has had power for a while. I forget in which fight, but she fucking dropped this one chick. It was crazy. Her cardio is good. She can sometimes get excited and put herself in bad positions, though. We've seen this in a lot of her fights where she lost. The Xiaonan fight, Tisha Torres fight as well. Gets too excited. I think this is just going to be another case of Jessica Andrade just like fighting a person who's good at BJJ and then losing just due to her BJJ being not so good. Second round submission, probably like arm bar or something. Holy shit, I can't believe this is a real fight. We have made it to the co-main event, Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. Let's start with Sergey. Last fight was a win against Curtis Blades in April of 2023. Powerful polar bear. First round killing machine, slick boxing with 1s and 2s and hooks thrown behind him. Insane pressure. When he sees blood, it's over. His wrestling is still an unknown since the Overeem fight, but Sergey does train at AKA. He's trained with DC, Cain Velasquez, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev, and he's also Russian. I mean, Charlobutin Magomedov, he's Russian, but his wrestling sucks. I would expect Sergey Pavlovich to look good. The Curtis Blades fight, I think he defended a takedown, and he defended it pretty well. Let's go to Tommy Boy. Last fight was a win against Marcin Tybura in July of 2023. Very fast for a heavyweight everywhere. Good takedown entries, slick on the feet with head movement and footwork. Powerful, likes to throw a leg kick here and there. Jiu-jitsu ace on top of that. He does leave his hands down at moments, and he does have the spotty knee, of course, due to the Curtis Blades fight. This fight can go one of two ways. Tom Aspinall goes out there and ragdolls Sergey Pavlovich, getting a submission in the first round, or Sergey tags him in the first round and the fight ends like that. I'm picking the latter. Sergey Pavlovich first round KO, TKO. Lock it in, baby. Holy shit. We move to Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Perea for the vacant light heavyweight title. Holy fuck. Let's start with Yuri. Last fight was a win against Glover Teixeira in June of 2022. Insane is the word to describe Yuri Prochazka. Entertaining as fuck. Likes to use unorthodox tactics like spinning elbows, flying knees, and much, much more. Very powerful right hand, chin of diamonds, warrior spirit. I mean, he's a fucking samurai for Christ's sake. He does rush in and leaves his hands down. Has been rocked in all 3 UFC appearances. A lot of people like to look at the highlights. I look at the realism. Volkan Ozdemir rocked him in the first round. Dominic Reyes chin-checked him with that upkick. Yuri Prochazka said it knocked him out. Glover Teixeira in the 5th round could have finished the fight if he didn't jump for a fucking guillotine. But here we are now. Let's go to Alex Perea. Last fight was a win against Jan Blachowicz in July of 2023. Crazy power on the feet. Decorated kickboxer. He uses his leg kicks well without setup. That's something that's very potent about Alex, is that he does not have any tell for his leg kicks. It's crazy. The stiff jab to the face and body. He does also throw the right cross to the body. Good pressure. Does really well when he presses his opponents against the fence. We've seen this in the Israel Adesanya fight, the Bruno Silva fight, the Jan Blachowicz fight. He just does good when the opponent's against the fence. Unless we're talking about 287, but we don't like to talk about that around here. Takedown defense is a little spotty, but it's definitely getting better, and his gas tank may still present problems. He didn't look that gassed at Salt Lake City, because, you know, I was there. This fight is fucking bananas, and I'm so sad that it's going to end so early. Alex Perea, second round TKO. Lock it in. I'm UFC Thoughts, and these have been my picks and breakdown for every fight on UFC 295, Prochazka vs. Perea on November 11th, 2023. My confident picks reside with Jamal Emers, Diego Lopez, and in the co-main event, Sergey Pavlovich. My pre-card rating is a 9 out of 10. This card is damn near perfect. There's a lot of fun fights on this one. Don't want to miss it. I'll see you guys after the fights. Peace.